Michael Taylor, 38, the airport ramp attendant who was found guilty of marrying twice, was yesterday fined $100,000 or in default will spend 12 months in prison for the offense. Taylor of Lot 1 Susdike, East Bangdamarara, was charged last year for bigamy and the case tried in Georgetown Magistrates Court before Magistrate Rondell Weaver, who handed down the sentencing. Bigamy is the offense of marrying someone while already being married to another, and this is Guyana's first bigamy case. This publication had reported that Taylor's first wife, with whom he shares 2 children, had gotten married in 2015. They had reportedly lived together for 5 years before being separated because of his infidelity. Now let's tell you, Vice President Dr. Bar Jagdeo confirmed on Monday that the selection of Wales, which spans just over 10,000 acres of land, to house the industrial park for the $900 million gas to shore project, that was not done by experts. The selection was done by locals who Jagdeo firmly believes were competent enough for the job. The official who holds oversight responsibility for the sector made these and other comments during a press conference held last week at the Arthur Chung Convention Center with publishers, editors, and journalists of the local media fraternity. Although 5 studies were done by its predecessor on bringing gas to shore via a pipeline leading the Lease Phase 1 project, Jagdeo said with PPPC took office, it found that the APNU AFC had made no critical decisions on those documents. Meanwhile, Stabroek Block operator ExxonMobil Guyana is gearing to run each of the 10 planned floating production, storage production, and offloading vessels above its full capacity, with the second ship to arrive in the second half of the year. The revelation was made on Wednesday by the ExxonMobil Stabroek Block partner, Hess Corporation's Chief Operating Officer Greg Hill during the company's first quarter earnings call for shareholders. He was at the time speaking to planned activities this year to push the Liza Destiny FPSO beyond its nameplate capacity of 120,000 barrels per day through debottlenecking. Hill told shareholders the exercise can be expected on each of the FPSOs operating in Guyana's exclusive economic zone and posited, I think you can assume that there would be a debottlenecking potential on all those ships. He explained the debottlenecking exercise to say what typically happens is you'll bring the facilities up to their nameplate and then you'll gather a lot of dynamic data, and you will really need that data, so you need fluids running through the facility at full capacity to determine where are my pinch points, where are my bottlenecks, and what I can do to increase that capacity. Now let's tell you, though several local businesses may be hamstrung by varying factors that hinder their competitiveness in the oil sector, President Irfan Ali has given all assurances that Guyanese entrants will have the support they need to be successful when going up against foreign entities. Ali gave this guarantee during a press briefing yesterday morning at State House. As he made his presentation on his government's plan for economic growth, the president disclosed his intention to have oil companies use local services once they are deemed as competitive. With this in mind, Kaieteur News informed the head of state that several local businesses have been struggling to break into the industry and maintain competitive rates, especially when they are made to go head-to-head with seasoned foreign companies that enjoy concessions galore. In other news, Chief Executive Officer of Hess Corporation, John Hess, yesterday spilled the proverbial beans on the Stabroek Block operations when he disclosed that on April 11 last, oil production was curtailed for 7 days after a gas leak was detected in the flash gas compressor's discharge silencer on board the Liza Destiny's floating production, storage, and offloading vessel. ExxonMobil, the operator in the Stabroek Block, had in announcing the problem alluded to problems encountered but did not disclose that it was in fact a dangerous gas leak that had curtailed the operations briefly. Hess gave the disclosure during the first quarter earnings call held for his company's shareholder. Now let's tell you, head of state President Irfan Ali has ordered that a director at the state-owned Guyana Oil Company, Guy Oil, Akani Blair, and company's chief finance controller, Sean Prasad, be sent home pending investigations by the police and the Auditor General's office into, among other things, massive corruption at the agency. The investigations relate to a recently unearthed transaction with a private fuel dealer involving some $3.4 million US, in addition to another $300 million transaction involving fuel for the Guyana Defense Force. Additionally, the head of state said the entity is being investigated in relation to companies collecting fuel from the terminal and that those companies had no right to be there collecting fuel in other agencies' names. Firefighters last evening had a difficult time controlling a raging fire at the Sharon's Mall situated at the junction of King and Charlotte Streets, Georgetown. Based on information gathered at the scene, the fire soon after it was detected quickly swept through the top floors of the 4-story building. Sharon's Mall is a building that rents space to lawyers and other business owners. Up to press time, no one was able to confirm the estimated loss, but it is believed to be several millions. This publication understands that a small fire was first detected, and persons who were still in the building were quickly evacuated. You are tuned into Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5. This is your nightly newscast, and I am Kayla King. Thank you for listening.